Action!
What's the battery on my controller saying? No, not like that. It is dying. Right. Well, the good thing about Phoenix Wright games, Ace Attorney games, is that I can play it with one hand. And the cable from the PlayStation 5 to the, well, to me, is quite short. Like, it goes up to here, so I could play it like that. You can see how long the cable is. Like I don't have to go far to touch the PS5. The PS5 is just here. That's me touching it. But this wire isn't comfortable, so I'm gonna leave it on the desk here. Use my left hand to play it. I'm pretty good at playing games with one hand, actually. Not nearly as good as people who actually play games with one hand. As sus as that sounds, by the way. But like you're ever in a situation, let's say you have a partner and you're like in bed and you're playing video games, but they want to cuddle. You got to have one arm around them to cuddle, but then you need both. Sometimes you need both hands to play the game. Some certain games you can play with one hand. I've beaten people at Mario Kart with one hand. It's difficult, by the way, especially learning how to drift. I actually have Joy-Cons. Joy-Cons are the best for that shit. Because you can have one in each hand. Yes. God, I did the whole fucking Joy-Cons while cuddling tech all the time. I don't have a Switch anymore. So with the PS5 controller, it's infinitely harder. I think with the Xbox controller, actually, is more tough. More tough. Right, cool. So, turnabout for tomorrow. Okay. So, from what I understand, this is... Okay, actually, I'm going to guess that this is going to be a direct continuation from what happened in the last case. And I'm sure no one can escape their past. I'm sure it'll recap what happened last time. The sins we committed and the sadness we've caused. No matter how far we run, our past remains as ever present as the moon in the sky. How dramatic. Bro is aura farming right now. Aura farm complete. It looms in way. I didn't see it. Oh well, too bad. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on in hope towards tomorrow. All right. Have you seen that SF6 has a load of Phoenix Wright cosmetics now? Street Fighter 6? Wait, really? I don't play Street Fighter like that, but really? Oh, word? Wait, oh, I have to bring this up. I have to put, it is literally relevant to our interest right now. Hold on. Where is it? All right, we're looking at this. Samurai, what's his face? That is so fucking goated. That's so cool. Objection! Here comes a new challenger. Here comes a new challenger. Here comes a new challenger. Oh wait, that's so cool. I want all this stuff to go away. I can't see everything. So you can do the point, you got the music, corner, confront and catch the culprit, got titles. That's so cool. Gex as well. Oh, interesting. Nice. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Like, I don't play Street Fighter 6, but that's really cool. There we go. That is fucking awesome. Out of nowhere? Ooh, there's a final preview for Clear Obscure, which we're gonna be playing on the channel. Clear Obscure Expedition 33. There is a 9-minute preview of the game, which I'm gonna add to my save to watch later. Yeah, that's fucking goated. It's like the closest thing to Marvel vs. Capcom, with Phoenix Wright included. That's awesome. I like that. Okay. They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. Oh, wait, hold on. What have we got here? We've still got the same. This is just a continuation of the last case. This is episode 4, part 2, basically. But you've put it into a whole separate episode. Makes sense because now we've probably got a new defendant now. Like all the evidence from the last episode and all the profiles from the last episode are here. She's been arrested as a suspect in the case. I played this one. Was it originally on the 3DS? It was this originally on the 2DS. On the DS. On the DS, yeah. It was probably out on the 3DS as well at some point. Look at their smiles, fleeting. I haven't played too many, but I did play the 3DS ones. Well, this is a collection of all of the 3DS ones. So this is a collection of Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, which was Ace Attorney number 4. Then there's this one, Dual Destinies, which is Ace Attorney number 5. And then the last one / next one is Ace Attorney 6, which is called Spirit of Justice. That one originally came out on the 3DS. But Dual Destinies and Apollo Justice originally came out on the DS, but they have 3DS versions as well. After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But now, Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. Late Cross Phoenix Wright was actually amazing too. Yep, covered it in this channel as well. That was a fantastic game. That was actually really good. I really enjoyed that. It was years since I streamed that on this channel. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. I'm going to drink my tea, slurp, and enjoy. Have a fantastic stream, bud. Thank you very much, Blue. You take care. Yeah, it seems so empty too. I just don't get it, Dad. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was, at least based on what we know. But now, Athena is the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, the lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant Solomon Starbuck innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Oh, where is the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? Does Athena not have an alibi? Like, was she working with us at the time of the bombing? Surely. You know, Dad, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial is tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I'd better get out there and find some evidence. Say less. Okay, we're cleaning up the evidence. Oh, a lot of it has been taken away. Okay. So we've still got the autopsy report, the diagram of the space center, the knife, what the door looks like, camera video, more diagrams. Huh? The capsule or a statement, and the lighter. Okay. Alright, sweet. Before I start, bear with me one moment. Right, okay. Let's see if I can move this microphone away from too close to my face. You can still hear me, right? Yes? Okay, cool. Right. I still can't believe Apollo really left us. It's so sudden. Maybe you got tired of being my assistant for my magic tricks. I don't think it's your fault, Tuesday. But I made him clean the toilet a lot. And I made him go bring in the newspaper. It was my fault. I just know it. Oh, Apollo. I really don't think it was your fault, Tuesday. But I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either. How could they suspect Athena? It's just ridiculous. It must be some kind of conspiracy. The conspiracy, huh? Well, it certainly is some kind of mistake, that's for sure. First of all, we have to bust Athena out of the detention center. Then we have to chase down the people who framed her. We'll sneak around the world from Kiev to Carolina with the fuzz hot on our tails. Isn't that the exact same as? Isn't that exactly the same as the plot of the movie you watched the other day? So is Trucy coming along with me? Is that what we're doing? Oh, hello, dude. That's a liar. Cosmos, do you have a minute? Ugh, galactic scooter? Full speed. Yeah, he's fucking running away from me. Of course he is. Director, he scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the goddamn mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Oh, and that's it? Boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey. Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yep, and I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... what's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. She's got to be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice to give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they could put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I'll know you never give up on her. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. Still can't believe Launchpad 1 must switch with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I still haven't the foggiest idea. So there never was going to be a launch that day, not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think that I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. Is he going to be alright? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down the trash chute. Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So, was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't really tell. We are back. I need to adjust my clothes real quick. One sec. Sorry about that. The cable for my headphones. I was wearing an open shirt, and the cable for my headphones was just irritating my skin. So I've changed. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female or tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Ah, yes. The door on the left, right? As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space... Wait, what? Huh? Oh, you mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure. Just let me have my print scanned here. I'm shocked that worked. I thought they would have revoked his access. Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right. Quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear you. Times sure are tough. Dad, let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are lots of trees around the Space Center. Are there? I mean, I guess. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know. If they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor and they came in that way? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know. So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right. That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their fingerprints when they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into Boarding Lounge 2. Okay. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me, and I imagine this corridor is built exactly like Launchpad 1 corridor. There you are again. Curse the wretch who sullied my good name. Reverse course and full speed away. Director Cosmos, wait. Again. I'll handle this. Take that! Did she throw a knife at him? The mobility system has been compromised. Whoa. Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. And the streak continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what trick she's been practicing. My dear old battleship, we fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor. Dad, he's going to blow that thing up. Nah, I bet that all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well, I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably. Okay. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. His hands were tied. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner... Ooh, liar. Liar, pants on fire. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his Cyclops if I want to get to the bottom of this.
Take that!
Okay. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now, let's see. Where to start? This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You said that you did it to protect the astronauts. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. Can we talk about how Apollo went full Captain Harlock with his look in this game? It's amazing. I've been saying from the jump, he's protagonist aura farming. And has been the entire game. Also, hey, hello, how are you doing? How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree, you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. I remember in the original trilogy, if you get some of this shit wrong, you lose health before the actual court case. It only makes sense for Clay Terran because we just learned from Solomon that he was the only one not in the know.
Take that!
Yes, okay. You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. Oh boy, here we go. Discombobulated. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Somebody, please help this poor prisoner of war. How is he able to spin around like that? Oh, there goes one lock. Wait until you play Spirit of Justice. I don't know when I'm going to play Spirit of Justice. Spirit of Justice is probably going to be later this year. Excuse me. Purely for the reason that I don't think I'll be able to finish it before South of Midnight comes out. So, we'll see. Probably in the summer, maybe. Depends. Been better, to be honest. Yeah, having an off day today. Mondays do suck, so I get it. If you really wanted to save the astronauts' life, shouldn't you just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know? How did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronaut safety. But it was just a warning. It could even have been a prank. Phoenix, right? If someone threatens, warns, or pranks you about a bomb, even if it's a prank, you take that shit seriously, bro. Like, what? Why did you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Ooh. Oh? I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see? AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said, it's been a while? And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Threat to Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before? Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in... Courtroom 4 bombing doesn't make sense because it happened after this bombing, so it must be this. Okay. The Hat 1 miracle, actually, hold on. Well, it's not that, this is Monday. Brain has betrayed you today. Gotcha. Understood. I'm sorry, man. What have you done? What have you done today that's been able to keep your brain preoccupied? Other than jumping into this stream, of course. The Hat 1 miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation now know it as a heroic tale of bravery. Wait a minute. Oh, we don't have it anymore. Okay, never mind. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by a current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. Did anyone ever tell you to go easy on the next serviceman? Okay, that's 2 out of 3. Yes, the Hat 1 miracle really was a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind that Hat 1 miracle. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. It all ties back around to Blackwell, surely.
Take that!
Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you keep seeing straight through me? All right, there we go. Going to the gym, good. That usually helps. I hear that helps at least. I say it usually helps as if I've been to the gym. I've never stepped foot inside of a gym a day in my life. I should one day. I was going to do DoorDash for... Oh, you do DoorDash, interesting. But that would have had me in the car solo and all by myself with just my thoughts. Not unless you were blasting music. Put on a good musical. What is DoorDash, like driving for DoorDash like? Because obviously that's like Uber Eats and like Just Eat and stuff like that in the UK. What is that like? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that would be why. Oh, ooh, don't do that. I need to, shit, hold on. Stream Manager is being weird because it's like altering my layout of the Stream Manager, which is weird. I want that to go away all the way to the side. So stream dashboard, whatever, it's like forcing this layout on me, which is weird. It's annoying. But anyway, I gotta run for ads, so I'll be back in literally 3 minutes and then I'll return. Bro's just been discombobulated in the background of my pause screen. What were you saying? So it's not too bad. You live, depending on the area you live in the town where there's a lot of food orders, and I'm by 3 college campuses, so that works. I'm also not too far from Boston. Oh, Boston! I like Boston. I've been there once for PAX East. Yeah, PAX East 20 something, 2018, 2019, something like that. But you get paid by order or by time. What does that mean? Some days I can make 40 a day. Some days I can make up to 80 a day. Super Bowl weekend, 200 in 3 days. Okay. Interesting. So it's just a little bit of extra cash that you can do in your spare time, that you can make in your spare time. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is can fuck if I know the difference. Fair enough. Fair enough. Being near 3 college campuses is a good spot, hot spot though. The college students don't want to fucking cook. You kidding? The pay by order doesn't give you nearly as much as paying by time. Getting paid by time sends you further away for your orders. But sending you further away means more gas money, right? It's connected to the truth behind that. One may recall the sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago. It's always 7 years ago. I think I said this yesterday too. Also, while I was paused, I was like clicking around on Twitch. People are playing Expedition 33 Clear Obscure right now. I guess there is a preview copy being sent to like, you know, content creators and stuff like that. But like Pat Stares At is playing it right now, which is what I've just seen. And like I clicked on the category for Clear Obscure, and like I think him and like 2 other people are playing it. So, but like there's obviously been some sort of embargo being lifted, because then I went to Twitter and everyone's fucking talking about it. I'm like, okay, cool. People have been playing it over the past week or so. And embargo's just been lifted. And people are liking it. I can't wait to play this game when it comes out in just under 2 months. Still don't know how it all works. Have you not been doing DoorDash for long then? 7 years ago. You mean the so-called Hat One miracle? Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. No, not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism. All that, in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. Why have you specifically said that you couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints when not even 10 minutes ago we saw a leaf on the floor? So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country, carries out dangerous missions, and always gets the girl? Someone's been watching too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. And that was the Hat One miracle, wasn't it? But then 7 years later, the same MO, advance warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. Been doing it since May. The orders came in on a consistent pace. I imagine a job like this where you'd make bank would be somewhere like New York City. Yeah, or at least maybe in Boston itself. But yeah, New York City would go crazy for stuff like that. But then again, at the same time, I would imagine there's a lot of saturation of drivers and dashers in NYC that you'd be competing for gigs anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, go where the work is, but also everyone is going where the work is, right? 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant the danger was very real, and I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. Oh boy, here we go. So, first I snuck onto the center in the night before and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from Boarding Lounge 1 into the Space Museum. Then I put a closed for repairs sign at the door to Launchpad 1 in Boarding Lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Terran, but you didn't let Starbuck in on it? He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until Clay's murder, huh? After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out, but after all that effort, Terran is dead, and the Hat 2 was destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos, my beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for! Wait, what did he mean by the Hope capsule was lost in the past? I have it in my pocket. What are you talking about? I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Terran. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with the asteroid samples inside. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1, but I gave it to Terran before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that with it safely in Terran's possession, he could make it look like he rescued it during the stage miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway. But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe. You misunderstand. The launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. Yeah, I have it in my pocket, dude. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. Oh. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was, oh shit, was it? So I don't have it no more. It's not in my pocket. But the idea that it was in my pocket at one time still remains. It's blown to smithereens. That was probably the purpose of the explosion, to be fair. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during the investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship, a tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I used this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launchpad switch, just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion and planted the bomb then. Yes, if they was tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind this incident and the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. Then this spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. Excuse me. Yes. I'm aware. So if we find this phantom, that's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if though. Wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. But if we're going to go on a ghost hunt, count me in. It's all over for me. Spin, whoa, well, I'm done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed. Do you think he's going to be alright? Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission too. If you want to learn more, start with the Space Museum. There's the Hat 1 exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me. I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds. It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go to the Space Museum. Yeah, these games... Lover... It's all tied to what that one fateful day 7 years ago. Like every single fucking time. Where am I going? Space Museum.